Always be wary of a person that tells you that you need them in order to continue your spiritual path. This happened to me years ago. Story time. I would also like to add that if you happen to know me and know who this person is, please don't say anything. Name out of this on purpose for my own safety. For educational purposes, this is not to out anyone. So I was really obsessed with Loki. And I wanted to know more about him. I wanted to know more about giving him offerings. I wanted to connect to him. I wanted him to choose me, etc. And I got the attention of someone in my local community as a result. At first, she was really annoyed with me. But then suddenly she decided she wanted to help. So she meets up with me at a public event, takes me outside, and then she gets possessed by Loki, confirming that he had chosen me. And then after she was done being possessed, she does this kind of fake looking fall, which in my mind, it kind of registered as fake, but I wanted to believe her because I was so obsessed with Loki and I wanted it to be real. And I didn't want to believe that she was this horrible person or that she had really any motives for lying to me. And then after the fact, she meets up with me and a couple of other people. And she's like, how would you like me to be your mentor effectively? And I was like, I don't know. And then she was like, have me be your mentor or your path ends now. And I was naive and I was really desperate and I didn't want my path to end. And I ended up agreeing to it because I was just caught off guard by it. I wasn't experienced in this sort of thing. I thought this sort of thing only happened in like the Catholic Church. I wanted to believe that my community was full of good people. But it's like in hindsight, it should have been obvious. You need to hang out with a very specific person in order to be on a specific path. It's one thing to like send a person to teach you stuff, but it shouldn't be required. That was the first red flag, aside from the fake falling, but that was like the first very obvious red flag. And sometimes people don't catch it, or sometimes people feel put in a position where they feel that they can't say no, or they feel like they don't know how to say no. And at the time, that was also my problem, was I did not know how to say no. I did not feel like I had permission to say no. She had put me on the spot. She had gathered like a couple of other people that were well known to me and the community, and they just kind of stood there and said nothing. Neither one of them even spoke up and said, why does she need you? It's just, I kind of was put into the freeze, But that is a red flag, and I am here to give you permission that if somebody says, choose me or your path ends now, I'm giving you permission to look at them and go, why do I need you specifically in order to continue down this spiritual path? What is so special about you? And give yourself the room to say, you know what, I'll just take my chance and say no. Because if a deity really is choosing you, then they don't need this other person. They don't need this middleman. And if they are depending on you being friends with this very specific person and they do abandon you for not choosing that person as your mentor, then maybe they aren't the right deity for you. As much as that would suck, but chances are your deity probably really doesn't care if you're not going to go under this very specific person.